Here we are again in the cracker box. So, as I was talking about in the last video, about the uh, possible cover up in Mineral County for crimes that the officers commit against the citizens, civil rights violations, civil liberty violations, Montana Constitution, United States constitutional law, how they violate this stuff, and then when you confront them about it, they cover it up. They don't want people to know how bad they have been at hiring uh, law enforcement in Mineral County. I'm not saying that all the law enforcement officers in Mineral County are bad. I only have the proof about the two that I dealt with. I mean, I'm digging, I'm finding more proof, I'm getting more stories from people. We're asking the right questions because doors are getting closed in our face. People don't want to talk. Anyways, but there is information coming out of the courthouse and specifically out of the criminal justice system. I mean, there's a leak, folks, and they're talking about some stuff. They're afraid, but they're talking. But anyways, not all of them that I have dealt with in the sheriff's department are bad. And there's a gal that's a jailer who, every time I've been at the window at the Mineral County Sheriff's Office, has been very helpful. If she doesn't know an answer to my question, she sure turns me on to somebody who can help me. Um, and that lady, the dispatcher that I've dealt with twice, three times now, not ratty patty. Let me tell you, don't trust that woman. But the other ones, those ladies have been exceptional. They might not like helping me, but you wouldn't be able to tell it. You wouldn't be able to tell anything more than they're doing the job that they're paid to do, which would be more, or isn't any more than I expect from an employee of the county who gets paid from our tax money. The county, not just the county, the state, the citizens of the United States. There's grants and stuff that come to this county on behalf of us, but it's our money. It's tax money. Grant money isn't money that was raised any other way than taxes. So, and charity, which is for a tax write off. But, anyways, so this money is ours, and we pay people to do certain jobs for us. Uh, the lady's clerk of court, and the lady up there in her cohort, um, awesome people, not just in the office, but especially in the office. But I've talked to them on the street. Good people, I believe, good people. And I'm not an expert in judging character. God knows, I've made my mistakes. Um, Ladies in the clerk and recorder's office, the clerk of justice court first, then the clerk and recorder's office, uh, have helped me find the information I'm looking for. I appreciate that. The ladies in the tax or the treasury, or where you get your license plates and you do your registrations and stuff. Awesome. Never had a problem with them. And if there's people in there to be grumpy, those would be them. Um, Across the hall, never had a problem with her. Treasurer or superintendent, school superintendent, county superintendent. I don't know what exactly, but always very helpful. County commissioner, one. She doubles as the what do you call that? Human resource. Exceptional help. Well, one complaint. One complaint. I know that it's not cheap building handbooks, and you don't know how many you're going to have to hand out and get back, um, and what condition they'll be in when you get them back. However, they are paid for by taxpayer money, and if a citizen asks for one, you should give them one. I get it, they're online, but not everybody can get online. Not everybody wants to go online. Not everybody wants to sign in and sign out and whatever else. If you got a hard copy, you should give it to the citizen. The people. I need to learn to stop saying citizen. The people. I'm a person. We're a people. Anyway. So again, not all of them in the courthouse or even in the sheriff's department are bad. The county attorney's receptionist. I could talk to that gal for hours. Hell, I have. I've got video of being up there for hours. Just shooting the shit about our childhood. You know, being a community. It shouldn't be the courthouse against the citizens. It shouldn't have to be almost a year waiting for some type of justification for the way I was treated. You did me wrong, guys. The county, the sheriff's department did me wrong, and I can prove it. And if you watch my videos, you will see it. It has been proved. Anyways, so in the beginning of this, one of them in January, but yeah, the complaint forms that I sent to the county on each deputy, both of them, one was like 7 and one was like 8 pages. I mean, and I specifically did them in individual complaints on their own form. You can see I've got, you know, a stack of them here. Trying to, I don't know what gives the best view. Anyways, and so I made out each complaint on its own form, hoping that they would take the time to read each one and see how each one fits to the next one, kind of like an algebra problem, but that it was all, there was different violations in this one alleged crime. Hang on a second, I'll tell you what the Mineral County Sheriff's Office criminal code or criminal number was. Is Mineral County Sheriff's Office criminal case 22-468. So they made a criminal case. They made charges. Anyways, so it was quite a while, and I mean months and months before I got a reply. So I made the allegations against the sheriff's department in January of 2023, and I made the complaints, and they're the exact same complaints, handwritten out on the Montana Public Safety Officer Standard of Training Council's complaint forms, because I was told that I couldn't just send these over as the complaints. Anyways, and that was March 2nd of 2023. So I heard back from Montana Public Safety Officer Standards of Training Council on June 19th of 2023, and the Office of Sheriff's Coroner, Mineral County, didn't send their reply to the Montana Public Safety Officers Standard of Training Bureau until April of 2023. So June, July, April. If I'm reading this right. And it's their stamp on it. I mean, it's a copy of what they sent. So anyways, so I finally I asked for a copy of what the sheriff's office had said in response to my post complaints. Um, the post complaint comes out that, well, the investigation, or wait, the committee directed me to close these allegations and enter a finding of unfounded. The investigation disclosed that the complainant made a false allegation. The subject of the complaint was not involved in the incident, or the incident did not occur. So, the subject of the complaint, there's multiple complaints. And if you watch my video, even if it's not written down, if you on your complaint form, if you watch my video, you can see the violations. I don't understand this. So I was like, well, why would they say this? Why would they, you know? And it just doesn't make sense. So I asked, right? So you should be able to ask. So I get a hold of Timothy Allred, Executive Director, Montana Post Council, on the phone, and he tells me that I have to, because I requested to know what the sheriff's office response to my complaint, my post complaints were. And he said, Allred said, no, you got to go ask them what that was. And so, and I've got a folder of multiple request of information uh, applications, uh, forms that I filled out, and I got all of them copied and whatnot and signed by when I gave them in to that agency, stamped, signed by whoever took it, at least initialed. Um, I've got that information, what they had said, and I had to file another one to get this. So I get it back, and it says, and I want to read it all, and I know it's going to take a minute, but I want to read it all because I want you to hear what it says. And then I'd like you to go look at the videos and take my commentary with you in what they said, because this is their commentary of what happened, and apply it. Apply it objectively or subjectively to each time you watch the video. Look at it through two separate points of view and tell me which one's right. So, and please, nobody ever comments, and very few people put a like or anything on it. But if you like it and comment, maybe we can start a discussion, or maybe you can teach me something, or maybe I can help teach you something. I don't know. But something's got to be said. Something's got to be done. But anyway, so here's what Mineral County Sheriff's Office replied to Timothy Allred, the Bureau Chief from Montana Public Safety Officer standing, in regards to my complaints. It says, Dear Chief Allred, this is our response to the allegations alleged by Stuart McCracken in the behavior of our deputies, Ethan Atkins and Eric Lindauer, involving Mineral County Sheriff's Office case 22-468. On 11/21/22, Deputy Atkins and Lindauer received a call for service concerning a dog being shot at a home located at 247 Ponderosa Lane in Superior, Montana. That is not my home, but that's whose dog I shot. And if you go through my videos and you look at the video how this all started, I've never denied shooting that dog. And then if you go to the one where it says county attorney, you can hear the county attorney and then the assistant county attorney tell you that I did not commit a crime. Home lane in Superior, Montana. The complainant states the neighbor had shot their dog several times, and the shots were in the direction of her minor children. Go to the video and watch how I demonstrate, and this was back then. This was back in November or October or 11 November of last year. So this has been dragging on for a year. And I've suffered damages and I've suffered punishments that were not just over this. But anyways, towards their minor children, no. Now, when I came out of my house, I looked right and I looked left. And if you can look, you watch that video and you see where I pointed where the dog was and where I shot the dog and where I told the sheriff's deputies where I shot the dog, there's nothing. Nothing behind it but mountain. My property and the mountain. Forest Service property. There was no children. I didn't shoot towards children. I didn't even shoot towards their property. Deputies Lindauer and Atkins arrived on the scene and contacted the reporting party, who stated their neighbor, Stuart McCracken, was the one who shot her dog. Our deputies collected all the pertinent case information and then proceeded to contact Stuart McCracken. So what was the pertinent case information that justified them coming from the backside of my property, which is bordered by the neighbor's private property, and then bordered by, well, another, I don't want to say neighbor, he's a child molester, but he lives in the community, and then not near my house, but he lives around here. And then the Forest Service property, and then private property to the west of us, and then our access road getting out of here. So, I mean, which is the front way in, which any reasonable person would approach a person's house to make contact with them. Anyway. So anyways, there's pertinent case information that I've not been able to find out because they won't tell me that justified them trespassing on my property. Yes, I went outside. Belligerent? No. A little heated? Yeah. I got 2 armed goons uninvited on my property. And they came from a way that's not reasonable. And so I did not try to throw them off my property. I did not come out hostile in a way that was threatening. I walked out the door, and you can watch the video. It's 22 seconds long. It's the very beginning of it. You can clearly see both deputies, and I asked them, please move off of my property and I will speak to you. And they did not do it. They followed me because Lindauer says, no, we need to talk to you. Well, yeah, I'm going to keep moving because you have no authority over me in any way whatsoever. Anyway. So they walked across the reporting party's adjoining field and entered Stuart McCracken's property to specifically interview him concerning his role in the shooting of the neighbor's dog. So I think they're trying to throw that specifically in there to state that they had a specific reason or legal reason to come onto my property. The part they're forgetting is that they have to take this reason, this specific reason, and go talk to a judge. That's the way I understand the law. I mean, if you don't agree with me, please say something. If I'm wrong, say something. But the more I ask about this law that says that when they get a call for service, they can do whatever they want, as videotaped evidence will demonstrate. Anyways. The deputies were met immediately outside the home by an angry and belligerent Stuart McCracken. McCracken began demanding that the deputies were trespassing on his property and ordering them to leave his property, informing them he knows his rights. Okay, again, you trespassed, and if we got to go look at what Montana State Constitution says about it, or what the United States Constitution says about what you did, what do you think we're going to find? I'm going to tell you, it's Well, there's more than one. I mean, it's like we're gonna get to them. So let's just start with Section 3, inalienable rights. Go read that in the Montana State Constitution. Then go down to Section 10, where it says right to privacy. Section 11, Section 16. This is the one we're going to get to when we start going through the lawyer's handbook that I downloaded. Been perusing on these rules that lawyers have to follow or they can be disbarred. Due process of law. We're going to get to that one in the video selection here pretty soon. And that Section 18, that's where I'm coming from. Section 23 and Section 24. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. They just walked all over me. Anyways, back to the reply. I know my rights. I know that just because somebody called you doesn't give you the right to trespass on my property. I know that just because somebody called you doesn't mean I have to give you my ID. I know that I can't obstruct you unless I stand in front of you, blocking your view or access to something. Obstruction is a physical thing. I'm not threatening you verbally. I'm not enforcing my will upon you in any way besides telling you no. And I'm telling you no because I know my rights. No. I know my rights. No. Mr. McCracken would not cooperate with the deputies. He refused to identify himself to the deputies and would not answer their questions. It escalated to the point that our deputies must place Mr. McCracken into handcuffs for their safety and information, and informed him he was detained for investigative purposes or reasons, is what the letter says. So, anyways, let's go here. Mr. McCracken would not cooperate. I don't have to. He refused to identify himself. I don't have to, and would not answer any of their questions. I don't have to. It escalated to the point that our deputies must place Mr. McCracken into handcuffs for their safety. Please go watch the video where they're saying their safety. That they were so afraid that they had to put me in handcuffs. Watch the video. Take this information that I was so belligerent and angry and out of control by not answering questions, refusing to speak, asking for my Fifth Amendment. I don't get it. And then look at, and then take this comment and apply it to the video. Tell me where it fits. Where does that fit in there? Like in the last video I told you and showed you. Yep. I stood about, 4 or 5 foot back from Atkins and gave him the exact same throw of hands that he gave me. He did it first. And I know 2 wrongs don't make a right. I get it. However, there isn't a correctional institution or club or place in the world where I think that throwing hands at somebody's face like that, in that manner, with the tension that was there, was de-escalating anything. And again, I am 85% sure I won't get their body cam footage. They won't give it. They won't, even with this lawsuit that I'm going to file, they will not give it to me. I think I tipped my hand. Shit. Anyways. Oh, and watch that video to the end, and you'll see I'm in a t-shirt and jeans. And they're both dressed like they're ready to invade Poland. Look at them. Tactical vest, body armor, fucking handcuffs, taser, pistol. Shit, they probably got backup pistol. Baton, mace. I'm a grumpy old fucking biker with bursitis in his fucking shoulder, and you're afraid of me because I'm standing on my first, my fourth, well, I got them written down here somewhere, Agrippa rights that you decided you were going to violate it. And it's in the video. Watch the videos. Sorry. I'm sorry. Getting a little heated. Sorry. It just pisses me off, guys. They run all over us, and we're supposed to just bow down, you know. You see them getting free coffee all the time here in Mineral County, and that's bribery. You know, think of, read the bribery law. Yeah, just because they accept it, it's bribery. Anyways. He was detained for investigative reasons. Okay, there is Supreme Court ruling in law and Montana Supreme Court ruling in law that demonstrate that there's a difference between detained and arrested. How would you know the difference if you're standing on the sidewalk and an officer comes up to you and he says, you're detained? Or he says, you're under arrest. How would you know you were detained? How would you know? He would tell you, you're detained. I need to question you about X, Y, and Z. Let's forget about the trespassing, which makes everything, if anything, that they would have or could have had against me poison fruit. That's another legal term I learned. Anyways, how would you know? Well, they tell you, right? I mean, any honest cop would come up and say, hey, what's going on? And he'd say, hey, man, I don't want to talk to you. And he'd be like, cool, I just wanted to chat about the weather later. No, I need to detain you because I have articulable suspicion that you committed a crime or committing a crime or have committed a crime. Okay, let's go there. Go to the edge of my go on their property, and I'll stand right here with you and we'll talk about it. No, ego kicked in and they had to do it their way. Anyways, they would tell you. What did they tell me in the video? They didn't say, Mr. McCracken, you're being detained for investigative purposes. Or, Mr. McCracken, we're going to place you in handcuffs because you're so heavily armed, we're afraid of you. Nope. It was, we're going to handcuff you to show you that we have authority. And then we're going to drag you down to our building and we're going to throw you in it. And we're going to make it hard for anybody to come get you, talk to you or anything. Right? And that's what happened. He arrested me. And so then there's going to be a question, well, which one arrested you? Well, I'll tell you. They both did. One said I was under arrest and one handcuffed me. One stood on top of me and guarded me and talked to me, while the other one trekked back across the neighbor's adjoining property to get his car. They drive all the way around from 247 Ponderosa to my place, which is probably roughly a mile, mile and a half. Watch the video. I have to give him directions on how to get to my place. For him to pull up, get out of the car, and tell me that I'm unarrested. For anybody that knows me, knows that the FBI has got stacks of 10 cards, if you know what 10 cards are, of me, because I've been arrested that many fucking times. And I'm not trying to get street credit. I'm not trying to intimidate anybody. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm a criminal. Sorry, I've reformed my life. But as far as anybody's concerned, you're a criminal for the rest of your life. So here we go. So he drives around the other side and he pulls up and he hops out and he says, "We're going to unarrest you." I have never been unarrested in my life, ever. I've been undetained. I've been detained before. I've been asked questions and I've been told that I could leave because now I am not undetained. You know how I knew I wasn't detained anymore? Do you know? Because he told me. They told me. You're not detained. You know how I knew I was not arrested anymore? Told me I was being unarrested. When I talked to the county attorney about that, and you can go watch that video, I bring it up to them. And they say, "Well, I've never heard of that before." Well, because it doesn't happen. So, again, and at the end of this, at this juncture, Mr. McCracken calmed down. Well, of course I did. I've been in prison. I've been in county jails. I've been on some shady streets with cops. And once you're handcuffed, if you don't calm down, you're going to get your ass kicked. So I calmed down and cooperated with the deputy's investigation. The deputies submitted charges to the county attorney for several charges involving the shooting of the dog. Deputies submitted charges to the county attorney for several charges involving the shooting of the dog. So I was charged. It doesn't say allegation or supposed, or it says I have several charges. After reading our deputy's report and conducting interviews with our deputies concerning their involvement in the case, they never talked to me. I never talked to Cashman about this. He never called me down. He never called me. He never drove his plump little body out here and talked to me. But this is their investigation. This is what happens when they investigate themselves. I found our employees, Ethan, it says Ethan Atkins and Eric Lindauer, did not violate any county policy, sheriff's office policy, or Montana state laws while investigating this crime. The sheriff of Mineral County has concluded this complaint is unsustained, and we have closed this complaint, and our deputies are cleared of any wrongdoing. I say bullshit. Bullshit. We ain't done yet, boys. All right, so I don't get it. How can this be? If they're not just saying, "Fuck you, Stuart, we're covering it up." It didn't happen. It did happen. I got video proof of it. I've got constitutional laws that says you can't do it. I've got Montana state laws that says you can't do it. This courthouse, this sheriff's office needs to be cleaned up. And it has needed it for many years. There just has never been a platform to do it. I think YouTube allows me this platform to report this stuff to you people so that you can make a decision and you can start looking at how we can improve our communities from the community up, not from the government down. It will never work like that, ever. Ask any communist country, ask any socialist country. Nope. It's not going to happen until we, the people, take back our government. It's our government. Our government. We always say, we've gotten used to saying the government. It's not the government, it's our government. And we need to start electing people to do the job correctly. And when they're not doing it correctly, to hold them accountable. Even if they are your friend or you've worked with them for 10 years or you think that you need their help to progress in your position. It's time for not just Mineral County, but all of the counties in Montana and the United States of America to wake up and start looking and saying, no, you can't do this way. This is not what was intended for us. I'm sorry about how tattered my Constitution is, but it's not the way this is written. And it's not an interpretation. It's written. And there's a reason why they did it. And there's a reason why our country's founded on it. And there's a reason why we do the things we do. Is our system flawed? Fuck yeah. But it's still the best one in the world. On the entire planet. I believe that. And I'm going to stick up for not just my rights, but by doing this, hopefully sticking up for the rights of other citizens, or not citizens, people, persons, people who need the help. I've told many clients, this is what you got to do in this situation. Now it's my turn. So here I come, Mineral County Sheriff's Office. Here I come. I come in peace. I come to fix the problem. I come to help. I'm a helper. I'm going to come help solve the problem, I hope. And I hope I get some backup. All right, so this video is done for now. It takes a while for me to get it through the systems to YouTube. Please, if you can, like. If you don't feel like you like my videos, then don't. Subscribe, that helps. Comment. Let's start a discussion. All right, later.